All right, hello, it's Mrs. Rowe, and I am here to teach you how to make a star origami today. And what you're going to need is a piece of paper. You're going to need a square piece of paper, and I'll show you how to turn a rectangle into a square if you don't have one. You're going to need a pair of scissors and something that you can attach things together with. So you could use tape, you could use a glue stick, or you could even use liquid glue if you have it. All right, so let's dive in. Step one is going to be to find your paper. And I'm going to show you on a rectangular piece of paper how to turn this rectangle into a square first. So if you have a piece of paper that's a square, you could skip this step. I did include a square in your packets if you had one. And you're going to take, if you have a rectangle, to turn it into a square, you're going to take the corner of the rectangle and you're going to fold it up. And whenever I fold, I always match my corners up before I press down. So I'm going to match up this corner right here with this side. You can see the other side. And then once I have it all matched up, then I'm going to press it down and then crease that fold so it's nice and crisp. And now I have sort of a triangle here and a rectangle here. And I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and cut off that rectangle at the bottom, and that will turn your paper into a square. So you could do that with any kind of paper you want. I was going to maybe make one out of this shiny gold paper that's a rectangle, so I could be doing that same thing, turning that into a square to make a little star from that. So now I've got a square piece of paper, and this is step one. Step two is going to be, you've already got one fold here. You're going to fold another diagonal line going the other direction. And so what that is you're going to take this corner here and match it up with the other corner. So I'm folding it in half here, matching these two corners together. And then again, I match the corners first, and then I can press down from the middle and then use both hands to press down and fold that. So now I have sort of an X in the middle of my square. I'm going to make two more folds. So what I'm going to do is fold it in half this way. Sometimes people call that the hot dog fold. I guess because it's a square, it could go either way, hot dog or hamburger. But it's just folded in half this way. So now we have this fold. So we've done it 3 times now. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to turn it and do it one last time. So there's a fold right here. If you've made a fortune teller, or a paper crane, these are the same steps to start. So now when you open it, you have 4 folds, one going down, vertically, horizontally, and then 2 diagonal lines making an X. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut halfway up on the sides where there are no corners. And I'm actually going to take a pen and draw this for you so you know exactly where I'm wanting you to cut. So I'm going to have you cut about halfway up here, 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 and here. And if it's not exactly halfway, that's okay. You'll see what happens. You don't have to draw these lines. I'm just drawing them to show you. But if they help you, go ahead and draw them. So I'm going to cut about halfway up on each of the flat sides, not the corners. I'm not cutting the corners at all. Cutting here. And I'm done with the scissors. You don't need those anymore. And now I'm going to fold corners in. And some people call this the paper airplane fold. So if you've ever made a paper airplane before, you want to keep this a point and you're going to fold these corners in. So I'll show you. You're going to have to do this 8 times. So I'm folding this corner and I want it to be pointy here and come down here. So now I'm creasing it. So that's one. I'm going to fold this side in. So you're doing that 2 times on every corner. So there's 4 corners in the square. So you're going to do that 8 times. And see, mine doesn't match up exactly, and that's okay. I'm going to turn it, fold this one in, make a crease. If you have thinner paper, so the paper I gave you is pretty thick. It's drawing paper, the same kind of paper I'm using. It's a little harder to fold. If you have printer paper, that might be a little easier to fold. Or magazine paper or wrapping paper. This paper is just a little thicker. So even my point isn't exact, but you'll see it will be okay. Turning it again, folding it 2 times in this corner. So I think this is probably the most challenging step in this project. If you've made paper airplanes before, or if you've made them more recently than I have, maybe you'll do a better job at this stuff than I will. Again, creasing it hard so I make a nice crisp line. I can do that with my fingernail. And these are the last 2, lining it up with that middle fold, pressing. One more. And even if you didn't have glue or scissors, this makes a great star-shaped pattern, but it's flat. So it's 2D, it's not 3D yet. So I will show you how to turn that into this now. And what you're gonna do is flip it over, and you can take your glue stick and put glue right here on one side. I have that purple glue so you can see where I'm putting it. I'm going to put glue all over one side, cap it so it stays fresh, and then I'm going to put this side on top of this side. So I kind of pull this over and put it on top of this side, and then I can put my finger underneath in this little hole that it's created, and then press it closed, just like this. And with a glue stick, I might want to hold it and count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to make sure it's really stuck. And I'll show you again on this side with a piece of tape if you'd like to use that instead. I think it's a little quicker, but I know not everyone might have tape. So what you can do is take one side, put it over the other, just like you did before, but this time there's no glue here. And I'm gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna take that piece of tape while I'm pinching it with one hand, put it right here on the edge. And you can see that, it's kind of standing right up. It's hard to see because it's clear, just like that. And then I'm gonna fold that tape over and press it flat. So now I have 2 points that are 3D. I can go around. Again, if you're using the glue, you just put glue on one side, and then on the other side, you put that piece over the glue side, and then you want to pinch it closed, just so it stays closed and it can dry. And then the last corner, a little bit more glue. If you had liquid glue, you'd put that liquid glue in the same spot, just on one side. Just a little bit, not too much, or else you'll have a little bit of a mess. And then again, I'm going to pinch it closed. And now I have my 3D star. It might be a little bit kind of funny in the middle, so you can use your fingers just to pinch that middle part, and it makes it a little bit more pointed. And you could make 2 of these like I did. So I have the first one I have, and you could put them together to make one big 3D star if you'd like. You could attach those together with glue if you'd want. This big star. Or another interesting thing to do is you could make a smaller one and put them together like this. You could use a hole puncher to punch a hole on the top and hang it. And I also thought these would look really interesting hanging flat on a wall because they pop right out, but they're flat on one side. So it would be cool to make a bunch of them in different sizes and then attach them to a wall. I thought that would look neat as well. So yeah, you could use regular paper. This is a catalog I got for LL Bean with some slippers on it, and I made a little star from. So this paper was a lot easier to fold, but as you can see, it's a little floppier. The thick paper does hold up better. And there you have it. There's your star. And I hope you have fun creating as many stars as you like. Please send me photos of your stars on Seesaw. I would love to see what you create. Have fun.